Well, hello, Community Bible Church. Welcome to another edition of A Verse a Day, our online daily Bible study. I hope that you're having a good end to your week. Happy Friday, you made it. And we are going to get into 1 John 3:12. If you're anywhere in Hernando County area or there driving distance, I want to invite you out to our worship service, Sunday school at 9:30, worship at 10:45. And it's going to be a good Sunday. We finished off Gospel of Matthew after a long time last week, and next week we're going to be starting to back up, but right in the middle here we're going to be talking about the church, our church specifically, and really what makes the perfect church and how you can be involved in that. So I think you're really going to enjoy it, and I want to see you there. But let's go ahead and get into 1 John 3:12. It says, "We should not be like Cain, who was of the evil one and murdered his brother. Why did he murder him? Because his own deeds were evil and his brother is righteous." Brother's righteousness. So, it starts out, now if you don't know anything about the Bible, you can go back and start reading Genesis 1. It won't take you very long to get to the story of Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel were humans number 3 and humans number 4 because they were Adam and Eve's first two sons. Now, because of that, they grew up and they were living in an almost perfect world. Sin had just entered it, and there's only 4 people here in the world at that point, or maybe there's some other babies at this point. We don't know, but if you just to quickly summarize that story, there was Cain, who was a farmer, but then there was Abel, who was a shepherd and took care of the animals, and there was a time when they both went and made a sacrifice before the Lord, and already they knew that they had to make sacrifices. They knew that they had to there had to be an atoning of sin. So this was something that went all the way back to the very start of creation. And so Cain went before the Lord, and he offered all sorts of fruits and vegetables and things like that to the Lord, and said, "Here you go, Lord. This is for you." Abel, though, came and he actually sacrificed the lamb. He killed the lamb. He killed the animal and sacrificed with the blood sacrifice. Now God accepted Abel's sacrifice because, as Scripture says, without the shedding of blood, there is no remission of sin. There is no forgiveness. A payment had to be paid in order that sin be forgiven. And so Abel knew this. He understood this. And so he went ahead and sacrificed the lamb. Cain did not. Cain just gave his fruits and vegetables to the Lord. And so God did not accept Cain's, but he did accept Abel's, and this made Cain angry. And if you don't know the story, they went out in the field and Cain struck him and killed Abel. And so it's already humans number 3 and humans number 4 killed each other. The third person that has ever born was a murderer. And so that doesn't tell you about the human heart and the human condition. I don't know what else will. That they were still living in a world that is just had a small taste of sin, and already it dipped so quickly and went downhill so fast that the very first person born in this world was a murderer. And those are the people that we come from. And so let's go ahead now and go through this once again. So it says we should not be like Cain. All right, don't be a murderer. Number 1, that's your free point for the day. But more than that, we should not look at others with evil intent. So it says, who was of the evil one? So Cain was of the evil one. We already established that's Satan, that's the devil. And so Cain was of the evil one, and because of that, he murdered his brother, right? Because if you're of God, you're going to act righteously. We've already talked about that. If you're not of God, you're not going to act righteously. You're going to act unrighteously, and you are of the devil. And so we see this played out in the very first human that was ever born, Cain. And it says, and why did he murder him? That's a good question. Thank you for asking it, John. Because his own deeds were evil and his brothers were righteous. So Cain knew that God did not desire, God did not tell them to sacrifice fruits and vegetables, but Cain did it anyway. He was of the evil one. He acted evil, and that is what you are whenever you do not believe in Jesus Christ. You are of the evil one. It doesn't mean that you cannot be saved. It doesn't mean that you're a murderer or anything like that necessarily, but it does mean that you are going to follow after not Jesus, but the devil. Whereas likewise, Abel, who's unnamed here, but it says his brother was righteous. His brother knew and understood what God wanted from him. And so he went ahead and did what he did, or sacrificed what God wanted him to. And Cain got angry because God did not accept his sacrifice, and he favored his brothers instead, even though it's only because his brother actually obeyed, and he killed him. He killed him. And so because of that, he's saying, don't be like Cain. Don't look at other people. We are called to love them. We are called to serve them. We are not called, whenever we see somebody being blessed by God, whenever we see somebody, life is seeming like it's going well, we are not to look at them with envy or hatred in our heart, because honestly, there's a good chance that maybe their marriage is so great simply because they're obeying God's commands in marriage. Maybe their kids are doing so well because they have obeyed the scriptural principles while they're raising their kids. And so, sometimes we can get jealous of that. Sometimes we can say, well, how are they so far ahead? I'm so far in debt because I maybe wasn't, fulfilling what scripture said about spending money and being a good steward and things like that. And so it's easy to look at that and get angry, just like Cain did. But he says, don't do that. Now, this principle is going to be applied, though, in a different way, but you're going to have to watch on Monday to see how it is applied here, specifically unchristians looking at Christians, and we can start to understand why there's so much animosity to Christians, even though we are going to try our best just to simply love and to serve them. But that's for Monday. I will see you then, but hopefully I'll see you even before then on Sunday, whether that is on our website, cbible.org, on our YouTube page, or in person.